Welcome to Brother Owl's Garden. I'm Brian, and I honor your presence here today. Today's message is short and sweet. It's just a reminder for some of us that may still need it, and for some of us that may have kind of forgotten about it and need a reminder. Create for yourself a sacred space in your home, somewhere, a closet, a corner of the basement, anywhere that you can be as alone as possible, as quiet as possible, as undisturbed as possible. And for you moms with little kids out there, I feel for you. I don't know how you do it. And I honor what you're doing, and I give you full credit. And, not just moms, but parents and caretakers, people for who this is really a difficult challenge. I ache for you, but I encourage you all the more in such a lifestyle to carve out a sacred space for yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. Or at least, in families where this would be appropriate, at least a sacred altar or a space where everyone can have their moment in communion with divinity. But preferably for you alone if you can do it. Create a sacred space. It could be a mini altar on a bureau dresser. It could be a closet that you cleaned out, that you just put a candle and a small little shelf as an altar in there. Or maybe it's nothing but a meditation cushion facing a corner of your living room when everyone else is gone, off to work and school or whatever it is. You will be able to find some semblance of space. Maybe in the attic, maybe in the basement, maybe in the garage, maybe in the backyard, maybe in the tool shed. Whatever it takes, I urge you to create this sacred space for you so that you can use it to create a sacred spiritual practice, sadhana, a regular routine, as regular as you can manage, of giving yourself time to commune with God, giving yourself silence within the embrace of divinity. Whether you choose to meditate, pray, chant, or all of the above, whatever suits you, whatever resonates with you, that you will, and it's going to start off as one thing and end up as another thing, and then you're going to find that it's always kind of being revised as you grow and change. I don't do exactly the same practice of sadhana that I did a year ago or even 3 months ago. And I'm sure it will differ a little bit in another few months because it's an organic, dynamic thing. I get tired of this. I realize this is much better than what I had been doing, so I adopt that. This doesn't resonate with me so much anymore. I feel like it's run its course, so I let it go and I do something else, because we're always seeking meaningfulness and we're always seeking sustenance, to be recharged, to give our soul the nurturing and nourishment and rejuvenation that it needs, the replenishing that it needs. And as St. Augustine said, our hearts were made for you, O God, and we are restless until we rest in you. Regardless of your faith or religion or absence of all of that, this remains true. We need to abide in divinity. That's the blessing that I give at the end of every one of my episodes because of how important it is. We need to abide, thankfully, in thankfulness. We need to commune with God. We need to abide in divinity. We need to rest in the bosom of the Supreme Mother. Whatever terms you want to give to it, be my guest. You know the essence of what I'm talking about. You can't not know. It's built into you. We all have that God-shaped hole within us, as it has been said. And only God, our communion in God, completes us. We are only complete within the context of divinity. So let us abide in divinity as divinity abides in us. Create for yourself the best sacred space that you can. And it doesn't have to be fancy and complicated and ornate. It just has to be effective. It has to be quiet and private and accessible when you need it. And then create a personal sadhana, spiritual practice for yourself, and follow it the best you can, letting it evolve and morph as it wants to, because it's organic and dynamic. But the point is, make that space and make that time and make that practice happen. We all need it. We are thirsty for it. We are aching for it. And the crazier and darker the world gets, the more we need this refuge in our lives. So make it happen. It is of extreme importance to your well-being, ascension, and happiness. Thank you. And may you always abide in thankfulness for your highest good in the most benevolent outcome of the divine will.